You like silly me, man. Silly me for letting trailer number two for Imaginary win my ass over. The first trailer, I was like, no. No, 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 no. I said, you know what? I took one look at that trailer. I always watch my trailers twice for the for the uninitiated. But that first time I watched it and said my thoughts, I said, you know what? Blumhouse had this shit on the shelf for a long time. They made this movie a while back, and the success of Megan and Five Nights at Freddy probably had them like, you know what? Let's dust this thing off. Let's get it out there. Because killer bears and dolls and just inanimate objects are a thing, as they tend to be for some reason. And here we got Imaginary, but it wasn't until we saw that second, or I saw that second trailer, I was like, you know what? If I'm going into this for anything, I'm going into it because I want to see DeWanda Wise win. I've been a fan of hers since I seen Jurassic World Dominion. Regardless of how the movie played out, I loved her character in that movie. And she's in some other shit too, but I want to see her win in her first horror film. Um, and I I wanted the unintentional laughs. And I kind of wanted to be surprised. I was like, maybe even with a PG-13 rating, Jeff Wadlow can pull something off here that's creative enough to stand out. And I'm always rooting for Jeff Wadlow. I've been a fan of his ever since Cry Wolf. I still feel like that is his best written, directed film. Did he write and direct that? I want to say he did, but it's his best film overall. He did Kick-Ass 2. That is a sequel that is way better than it had any business being. I enjoyed the hell out of that. But then when he got over to Blumhouse, the Truth or Dare, Fantasy Island shit, I'm like, Truth or Dare, you kind of maybe had something, and this shit just fell flat completely. Fantasy Island, it had some moments where it was like, oh, this is kind of cool, but then, like, in the second and third act, that shit just starts to tail off. More so the last part of the second act and the entire third act, I'm just like, I don't even care at this point. And then we got Imaginary, and it's not until after seeing this movie I've realized that Jeff Wildlow just needs to stay the fuck away from Blumhouse. Just stay away from Blumhouse, man. This movie's a 4 out of 10, and I feel like I'm being really generous with that 4. But the only things that save it, and it's not DeWanda Wise. I'm sorry, man. Like, I was rooting for her to be great in this movie. She's not that great. And I know some people might be like, well, she's not that great of an actress. I think she's pretty solid in the things I've seen her in. But in this movie in particular, there's some parts where she's really supposed to be giving it up emotionally. And it's just not there. Single teardrop falling from the eye and everything. And I'm just like, I'm just not moved, shorty. I'm not. Like, she could just be like, I'm just giving it all I got, or whatever the fuck line she has to give. And I'm just like, I don't know, try harder, I guess. It's not Tom Paine. Tom Paine disappears for like like the half of the second act into the third act of the movie. He's gone, and then the paramedics and the fire trucks and everybody show up after Chauncey them wreaked havoc in Never Ever Land and shit. And he's just like, oh, it's all over. Fuck it. Like, I was on tour doing whatever I was doing. Now I'm back for the ending, and it's like, nah, you're a non-existent character. Then you got the teenage daughter, the older daughter, who's the sister of the main girl, Alice here. Alice wasn't as annoying as I thought she'd be. Did I feel bad for her? Kind of, but it's just like she does. They check the boxes with her the same way they do in every movie. They do the same shit with Pinocchio's Revenge and all these fucking movies with these toys and these inanimate objects. Man, I just the older sister is just the rebellious teenage girl who wants to stomp up the steps and just be on her iPad the whole movie, and she likes the boy next door. Boy next door is a fucking goofball, damn near junkie character who's trying to get high off of allergy medicine in the crib and shit until Chauncey scares the hell out of him. Chauncey the bear, is he? I'm more of a Teddy Ruxpin guy myself, man. But it's really crazy. Speaking of bears that are in the genre, it's so fucking wild how I'm more excited for Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 2 than, like, I never would have saw the day. I thought that this was going to at least give me something where I could pull it out. The third act, when they go into the Never Ever, which they pretty much rip off of Beetlejuice, they rip it off even down to the, draw a door type of thing that Alec Baldwin did, and then the shit starts to glow, and then it opens up. They go into the Never Ever. The Never Ever's pretty cool. I don't know how many of y'all have played Matrix Path of Neo on Xbox, but it reminds me of that level in space where there are like ants with these torches. I don't know if I'm losing anybody. Somebody out there knows. There's a gamer out there that knows exactly the level I'm talking about. You're in space. You can crawl on little platforms on the wall and in the sky, and it's like it's very dream-like shit going on in the Never Ever. That should have been the entire movie. The whole movie, it should have been maybe like 10 to 20 minutes tops, maybe 30. Nah, fuck that. 10 to 20 minutes tops of the regular world. Then they go into the Never Ever. Then Chauncey in his final form, beast mode, practical effect Chauncey is hunting everybody down. Then you get these little insect human hybrid creatures, and it's kind of nasty because I'm not like bugs and spiders and shit. Really like I just can't do it. So they've got those in there. Those things and Chauncey, Beast Mode Chauncey, should have been hunting these motherfuckers down, and it would have created like this maze-like, dream-like film, man. I think it would have been way more creative than what the fuck we got. And this chick, Gloria Betty Buckley, straight garbage. Like, if they should have had Lin Shaye play the character, you know, because you can see something's wrong with this chick. You know, she's like fake ass Lin Shaye. She's a mixture of that. She's a mixture of like Mrs. Blankenship from Halloween 6. Like, she's just, I don't know if they told her to play it like that, but this woman, her acting's terrible. And then when they get to the Never Ever, it's just like, yep, you're in on this shit. I don't trust you at all, and I don't give a fuck about what happened to her. And I wish they would have showed it. This shit should have been rated R. You know, it should have been rated R, man. I will say that in some moments, the practical Chauncey that's like 10 feet tall looks cool. It's the same actor that played the Predator in the movie Prey. So he's like, you know, becoming like a movie monster guy, which is good for him. But this movie this movie's trash. This movie's boring. This movie's pretty predictable at times. It ain't shit going on in this movie the majority of the time, man. I was just not locked in at all. Then when I felt like we was finally about to start picking up the pace a little bit, when the chick went missing, you know, they go Poltergeist Carol Ann type of shit where they have to go get her. And I'm gonna tell you, man, if it ain't one of mine, like, you just gonna be stuck in the Never Ever, because it's a fucked up place that they're in, man. But Jeff Wadlow, I think he is so much better off away from Blumhouse. You are so much better than this, man. You are so much better than the mediocre horror films that you have been directing for Blumhouse and giving to people, man. Like I said, it's a 4 out of 10, which it pains me to do this shit. But I'm a fan enough to know when this guy can do better. And I think that his departure from just Blumhouse altogether will be maybe a step in the right direction. It's definitely him climbing up the ladder all over again. But